Good morning, namaskar to everyone, and a very warm welcome. First of all, a big congratulations to all the students and their parents. Getting into Symbiosis Center for Management Studies is not easy, and you are now a part of the Symbiosis Center of Management Studies family. Be proud, be happy, and a big congratulations to you all. Let me also take this opportunity to welcome Mr. Kaushik Deka. Thank you so much, Mr. Deka, for sparing time to be with us here today. I know the students are so eager to listen to you and to hear your experiences, but allow me to tell you a little about Symbiosis Center for Management Studies in the next 2 minutes. I promise I won't be between you and the students. As you saw in the film, Symbiosis was established in the year 1971, and we are celebrating our Golden Jubilee. The Symbiosis Center for Management Studies was established in the year 2004, and last year we celebrated our 15 years of success. The students today whom we are addressing are all 17, 18, 19-year-old young people who cleared their 12th exam and are starting a new phase of their life by joining SCMS. It's not easy joining here. All of them have to undergo an entrance test, which is called the Symbiosis Entrance Test, which is held all over, which is a pan-India exam. Or entry to any UG institute of Symbiosis, you have to appear for SET. Close to 50,000 students registered this time. And out of those, the maximum number of applications were for the program at SCMS Pune, that is our program. That was not all. After that, a few students are selected for the next process, which is the PIVAT, or Personal Interaction and the Writing Ability Test. And after that, finally, the merit list is released. Once they are here, the 3 years, we don't make it easy for them. They have to undergo academic rigor. However, we very strongly believe that students should be allowed to study what they want to. And therefore, what we have is popularly called as a cafeteria approach. We allow students to choose the subjects across specializations, across disciplines, to make their own basket of subjects. Not only that, they are also, along with the cafeteria approach, the students also have to join. We give them access to workshops. This is supported by interaction with people like dignitaries like you. Along with that, they have, and therefore when a student passes out, he just doesn't have a BBA degree. He may also have a HubSpot degree. He may be Google certified. He may have a certificate on equity trading from ICICI, and so on. Not only that, we also believe that a student in management should learn about design, should learn about law, should learn about, because otherwise how do you function? And therefore we take subjects from our sister institutes and what we call as the floating credits, which our Vice Chancellor also mentioned. We also want our students to be socially responsible citizens, and every student has to contribute around 120 hours with an NGO. Last year, our students were awarded the Guinness Certificate of Participation for creating awareness among the largest number of adolescents on menstrual hygiene. We also have a very active international exchange program. But however, last year we introduced something new, which is called COIL, or Collaborative Online International Learning. Only so many students can go abroad. And what about the students who are in India? And therefore, we tied up with the institute in US so that it's not just the faculty who teach each other. More important, the students of two different cultures, two different countries, they work together on a life project. And of course, how can I miss and not talk about student activities? Last year, we had almost 100 student activities, out of which where students participated or organized, out of which 50 were for Simpulse. Simpulse is one of the largest student festival organized by our students. And around 500 students work round the clock for 5 to 6 months to organize this festival. I know I can go on and on, but I said only 2 minutes and I've already touched 3 minutes. Finally, let me end on telling you about that we really have Vasudev Kutumbakam over here when we have students of more than 30 different countries studying only in SCMS. At a university level, we have students of almost 85 countries studying in this university. And yes, this year we started bang on time for our seniors on 1st June, and we are completely on the online mode. Our student activities, earlier they used to perform in auditoriums and amphitheater. So I'm sitting in my office right now and the amphitheater is out here. Now they perform on Facebook and Instagram. And thank you so much, Mr. Deka, for being here, because it's when dignitaries like you come and talk to our students that we can teach only so much in the class, but when they listen to you, they get those real life experiences which groom them to face the world and contribute to the growth. Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Sharma, for inviting me here. I'm not too sure how much academic information I can pass on, but yes, I can pass on experience. But before I move ahead, I must congratulate you for the simple reason that whatever I have heard of Symbiosis from you, the kind of curriculum that you have prepared or the way you teach your students, it seems that most of the ideas have been picked up by the new education policy. Especially, I like the way you have done the multidisciplinary approach and also the combination of international curriculum with Indian university curriculum, which is, I think, fabulous. And I must congratulate all the students of Symbiosis. You can, the new students, you can pat on your back because you have at least achieved something in life that you are in this prestigious institute. So, hearty congratulations to all newcomers. Having said that, what today I am doing, I have been designated as chief guest. So when I was in school and colleges, these are the two names, chief guest, keynote speaker. We used to, as a collective students, we used to hate it because these people would come in, dignitaries, of course, as you have designated me. And in most cases, they will give a lot of sermons which we already hear from our parents and teachers. So some additional information on how to live life and how to study hard and all that. So obviously you would be waiting for something more exciting in college or in schools. And then in between those exciting events, these guest speakers come in and on some occasions they bore us to death. So I definitely would not want to do that to the students so that they don't hate me anymore. More importantly, I'm a bit frightened also because I was in college 20 years back. So that's now you know how old I am. And when we were in college, the information that we had or the exposure that we had, if we compare it to students nowadays, it's hugely different. It's 2 decades where we are fossilized. Now they have everything on their fingertips. They can Google everything. So you have more information, more knowledge, more exposure than probably what I had as a college student or as a newcomer. So that's a huge opportunity for students. When I come to speak to you about my lessons that I have learned in my life, before I get into that, I would like to tell you that this that you have loads of information and you can access information so easily. The most important part of it is that you have a lot of time in your hand. You can say that, oh no, we have busier days these days. How can we have more time? Now think of it, when I was in college 20 years back, if I had to find some new information or I have to do a research project or anything, I would have to go to a library. I have to meet 20 people. I have to dig a lot of information, which would take a lot of my time. Maybe 5, 6, 7, 8 days for one single information, which now you can just sit down on your mobile or laptop, wherever, access it. Your data is also very cheap nowadays. So those issues are also over. And when you are in universities like Symbiosis, you have multiple other facilities through which you can access information, which makes you a bit luckier than other students. So that means you have enough time to do more, which we would probably waste. In a sense, we wasted, which now you can figure out in 5 minutes. I had to take 5 days. So those 5 days that you have saved, you can utilize in a much better way, and you can do more. And how to do more, I'll get into that. But before I start, I must tell you one thing to all newcomers, that you have entered a very important phase in your life, which is, this will define what you do next. Till now, you were in school, you scored marks, you have done that bit, you have entered into a prestigious institute. Now is where, from now onwards, Everybody will choose you because of your abilities, because of your skills, because of what you are, and you have to build yourself up now. Now it's again a very boring. The way I'm saying it will sound very boring. Everybody says you that, but first thing I'll tell you, when you enter college, what happens is that you also come under tremendous pressure because it's a completely new environment, and you have become an adult also. So you are facing the world on your own now. Now there would not be your parents. You are an identity yourself, so you need to meet people on your own. You need to present yourself on your own. And it's very regular that in most of the time students get into a competition because of peer pressure. So you would see how the other student is, or a group of students are, and you may like to imbibe on what qualities they have. You may feel depressed also at times that I do not have this and that. And it's very easy and it's very common among students in colleges, especially in the first year, that you get to figure out what all you don't have. All the negatives that you have, you could very easily figure out. And in the process, you ignore what all you have, the uniqueness that you have. And I'm not talking about that psychological uniqueness or the way people say that every student is unique. I'm not getting into that. What I'm trying to say that when you were in school, when you have reached this phase, if you sit back and spend a day or two with yourself, you will realize that you have some extra qualities. You are good at something, in doing something. It could be you are good at drawing. It could be you are doing good at making a presentation, or it could be you are very good at observation. All these skills, any skill actually, is very important in today's world, because the degree will get you a job, but the skills that you will acquire, as Dr. Sharma has said, which Symbiosis insists upon, will help you in a big way in doing whatever you want to do in life in later stage. So forget about what others have. Whether your friend who student is coming in a big car or a small car, whether he comes from a big family or small family, whether he comes from a upscale area or whether he comes from a rural area, it doesn't matter. What matters is that the skills he will have, the skills he will have, and the skills you will have. Because skills are very important, and skills don't mean just the scores. And scores are important also. Before I get into skills, I must tell you all that yes, the new education policy is coming up. It's going for a holistic improvement of students and all that, but it's not implemented yet. So till that happens, which will take at least 3-4 years, you'll have to survive with whatever education system India has. And here scores matter. The scores that you will get in exams, it matters. I mean, especially when in the degree course, because it will depend your next level of things. And when you try to get more score, how do you do that? Because you will devote more time to your education and to the course that you have. And this is where your ability to enhance your skill set, your inner strength comes into force. And you must constantly focus on that. And the moment you focus on that, the other competitions, as I mentioned about the car that someone may have, or the very well dressed person that other person could be, those things start withering away. Now, I'll give you my personal example because I don't have much to say in terms of academics. I was a technically good student. I used to score well, but I was never that much interested in academics because my goal was very focused. And I had made my mind up in when I was in 8th standard that I want to become a journalist and I want to work for a particular news group, which is India Today. So there are not many people who would have that focused a goal when he would be or she would be in 8th standard. But at least we have a general idea, or we know what we are good at, and try to become that. And Symbiosis will offer you, as the courses have explained, the courses have been explained, that it will offer you that opportunity which you may not get in many other institutes where you would get a linear course. This is a great fortune for you all. So now coming back to my lessons, when I was in 8th standard, I decided that, okay, I want to become a journalist. Now, how do you do that? You definitely need either to get into a news group, or to get into a news group, you need a skill set. So how do you develop that skill set? Every profession will have different skill sets. So for instance, spend 2 days with you, and you will know if you sincerely focus on yourself for 2 days. 2 days are too much. 24 hours will let you know. You'd figure out that what gives you pure joy, doing what can become a exciting thing and also a money making thing for you. And the moment you figure that out, your focus should be on enhancing whatever you need to reach to that point. So to become a journalist, what do I need? I need a good observation skills. I need a good news gathering skills. I need a good writing skills. So I have to work on all these. Of course, I need to score well in exams also because I need to earn a degree. And no matter how bad our education system is, we have to survive with that. We can't go beyond that. So we'll have to live with that unless we can change that. So let's do the scoring part also. I'm not saying that you focus only on scoring, but at least you can try to achieve a decent score and simultaneously try to achieve whatever skill and required abilities, inherent abilities that you may need to reach to your profession. In my case, it was, as I mentioned, these three skill sets. Now, apart from that, there would be many students. I don't know how many of you would probably come from rural areas or would come from small town or would come from areas which are not as so-called advanced as other areas are. And that may give you a lot of anxiety in the initial days. I'll give you a small example. I had been to your city, Pune, long back in 2001. I landed up there for a Pune University mass communication test. I randomly gave the test. I cleared the written part, and I was called for group discussion and interview. And I come from a small town, and I come from I studied in a vernacular medium school, not in an English medium school. So, and when I went for the group discussion, I had read about group discussion. I had never ever seen a group discussion. And my reading would also be through some magazines, some newspaper cuttings, not like nowadays that you can even see how group discussion happens on the YouTube or anywhere. So suddenly I am with people who would talk about 6 other students who would talk about some television topics are given. And unfortunately, I had no access to cable television also. So I had no clue what Star TV would show. And they all would talk about all the Star TV stereotyping and this and that. And honestly, I didn't have much clue about those things, but I knew what I knew. So I had two options: to get caught down by what they said in front of those teachers who were examining us, or give my own knowledge, because you have to be sure that what you know may not be known to others. If you come from a small town, then you have certain experiences which a person growing up in Mumbai or Delhi could never have. So, and those are very important skill sets, the survival skills. You may not realize that. Like I never realized what great my home state Assam is until and unless I started living in Delhi for last 2 decades. And now I know what are the important things that I have learned during my childhood or the years I spent in Assam. So always try to figure out. The lesson that I can tell you is that you have to figure out the uniqueness, the strength, that the good quality that you have in you, and constantly focus on that. Whatever bad you have, there will be plenty of people who would come and tell you. Whatever wrongs you have since your childhood, parents, teachers, friends, everybody must have told you how bad you are. So that's a given thing. Don't worry about that. But it's you who can figure out how great you are. And remember that there is nothing which can boost your morale like self-love. And if you need an example, I can give you a great example, which teachers may find very frivolous. That look at Mr. Shah Rukh Khan. Now, there are so many big actors, great actors, and you all would agree probably that he's not perhaps the best actors among all the Hindi film industry actors are. He's in an honest assessment, he's an average actor. He can do well in certain roles, and in certain roles he may not do well. But he's the biggest star in India, and probably you all have heard, he constantly keeps saying that I'm the best. Now you may see that as an arrogance. There is another example of our previous captain, India captain Saurav Ganguly, who also had the arrogance of and the swagger that he used to carry around. Now, yes, those are they are arrogant to common people, which is not appreciated much in Indian culture. But why they were like that is that they had a strong belief in their abilities. To them, actually, they believe that they are the best. And once you believe that you are the best, you would have immense pride in what you do. And when you have immense pride in what you do, you can never do a bad job in whatever you do. Tomorrow, your teacher will give you an assignment. And if you think you are a damn good student and you have great ability, then you would never be casual about submitting that assignment in a bad way. It means you would always try to improve it, and you will always see that the teacher take attention, take note of what you have done. Don't be sure that the teacher will instantly take note of what you have done or would appreciate it, because he or she may have a different idea about excellence, but you will have to try. Means today you may be rejected, tomorrow someone will accept it, because you constantly, if you keep trying at excellence, then you will definitely find success someday. Now coming back again to my lesson. So from a small town, I had my mind very clear that I have to clear mass communication exam, because I have to reach an institute which is of repute. Unfortunately, I didn't try for Symbiosis Mass Communication Institute. Probably that was a mistake. I tried the Pune. Actually, I landed there for a very different reason. So, because the exam was happening, I gave that exam. But my focus was always on Indian Institute of Mass Communication, for the simple reason that I wanted to get rid of education quickly. And IAMC offers a 9 month course. So I was very focused. I have to clear that exam. I cleared it. I completed my course within time. And now I was ready for the market. And I was a stupid man. I thought that because I am from IMC, everybody will come after me. It doesn't happen that way. And when I landed in Delhi, I thought I have learned so much. I have such good GK and everything. So I went to India Today office to meet the then editor Prabhu Chawla ji. I couldn't meet him. Means I was thrown out from the reception only. That was probably the second day I landed in Delhi in 2001. But it didn't dishearten me. Means so gradually I realized what all I didn't have, but I also knew what all I had. So I started working on what all I had, and I kept trying. So from 2001 to 2006, I couldn't enter India Today. Eventually, I got into where I wanted after 5 years, and those 5 years were real struggle. And not that after those 5 years I was in a great company. It's not that India Today would accept you the day you enter and you'll realize your potential. So you have to go through a lot of struggle where your stories will be killed, you will be dismissed as stupid, your ideas will be killed, you will be mocked at, and those are good for you, because that will make you stronger. That will give you if you are really interested in doing what you are doing, then you will try to excel in that field, and you will enhance your capabilities, so that if your idea is killed today, tomorrow your ideas will be accepted. And that's how I have grown in last 14 years. So coming from a vernacular medium school, from a very small town, I dreamt of coming to India Today magazine and working among the best of Indian journalists. If you look at all the top names in Indian journalism today, from MJ Akbar to Shekhar Gupta to Veer Sangvi, anybody you name, you would find that they were all in India Today someday. That's like the India's best journalism school, living school. So anyway, I'm boasting about my own organization, but that's how it is. So the lesson that I'm trying to tell you is that you don't have to get disheartened. You don't have to get into frivolous competitions. Now, as I mentioned, why I mentioned that Pune group discussion thing is that I could have felt that I'm not meant for this world. The moment I saw those young boys and girls from, most of them were from Bombay and Pune, who have grown up in an environment where I am not finding any fault in that, but they had more exposure than me, and I'm not as good as they are. But I focus on my abilities, that okay, I had these limitations, and despite that I have come to this level. That means I definitely have something inside me, and I can further enhance my abilities. So this is where, the moment you are in college, this will happen in many areas. When you go to the canteen, when you move around among friends, there will be several competitions. There will be competitions related to boy and girl, as those things will also happen. You will fall in love. This is the time most people fall in love, which will be again a huge waste of your time. Not because I'm against love. In fact, I was legendary when it comes to these things. But when you grow up and you realize that the in your life you have plenty of time for all these things, but if you miss out those formative years, those 3 years that you will spend in college, in enhancing your skills or in improving your personality, that may create a lot of trouble for you in later days, because you will have lesser time and you will have more to do. So it's always important that forget about the competitions that you may see in college, the non-academic competitions, and focus more on getting what you want, because life becomes much more easier after 3 years. The life becomes completely different, because you will become a professional, or maybe 5 years if you do post graduation and all that, and then you are in a completely different world where you can take all your independent decisions. You will your degree, your course, and your skills will decide even your salary package. So why waste the time that you have gained? As I gave you the example, the 5 days, every 5 minutes you have gained 5 days. You use that to gather more and more information, more and more skill sets, which will create a lot of bright things for you in the future, which are like in your system. If you study management, so management is nothing but doing the same thing smartly. If you are good at management, what I do probably you do with much less effort, much less time, and much less energy. So this is what I see management as. So the degree that the Symbiosis will give you will help you to get the job, but to survive in your job and to excel, you would actually need to showcase that what your degree has taught you. And that is not the score. That is what you actually learn when you get involved in learning. And when I say get involved in learning, is it can be a very exciting process if I try to explain. And I'm not trying to become your parents or teachers. Like, you go to classroom, your teachers say a lot of things which you may not like, and the way every teacher may not be a great teacher. Some will be very exciting, some will be very boring. But from every teacher, you can, if you are good at what you do, you can get things out of them in different ways. So prepare yourself when you go to the classroom. Instead of getting grilled by the teacher, why don't you try to grill your teacher? So that way you can extract more from the teacher, and also you can showcase your abilities among your friends, which is a bonus. Means people will give you more respect. Some may call you a kitabi kira or all sorts of names, but at the same time, you would never get as much respect as you get for your knowledge for other things. For instance, if you drive a fancy car, there will be plenty of students who will be jealous of you, who will envy you. But if you can prove yourself to be an academically bright and knowledgeable person, there are differences in academically bright and being knowledgeable, because academically bright is the kitabi kira, and when you are knowledgeable, you can showcase it in multiple ways. When you do an event, you can showcase your management skills, which Symbiosis will definitely do a lot of. They do a lot of events, as far as I know. When you do group activities, you can showcase your abilities, what you have, probably if you are from a rural area, what you have learned in your villages, and take pride in what you do and what you have. because it's very important to showcase or to reflect that you have a lot of pride in yourself, because then only others will believe you. If you don't think that you are good at, then others will definitely not believe you. Because you remember when the advertisers sell a product, very basic thing, they say it's the best. So 20 people get fooled, 30 may not get fooled, but at least 20 will get fooled. But if they do not say that it's a damn good product, I'm not too sure about how my product is, then who will buy the product? So you are also in a way a product for the world. So if you want wider acceptance in life, in the world, you need to tell everyone that how good you are. And how do you do that? You can do artificially, like many products do, by roping in, say, Shah Rukh Khan or Virat Kohli as the advertiser. In that case, what happens? Some people may get fooled for some time, and the moment people realize the product is not as good as the ambassador is, then it falls flat. It's the same way. You may drive a fancy car, you may wear branded clothes, you may have everything fancy for yourself, but if you do not have that inherent strength, then that respect will be temporary. That envy that you gather from that you get from other students, that will be temporary. But your inherent strength, that you are very good at managing things, or very good at information collection, or you're very good at certain software, your demand will be everywhere for every people in your future office, in your among your students, among your friends, even among your teachers. So try to focus on that, and that's where the real excellence is. Not other things. Why I'm repeatedly telling you this is that, like we all had in the past, maybe many of your teachers, do not get cowed down by the college environment. Use the college environment to enhance you in a positive way, because this college environment can unleash the hidden potential in you, or can actually destroy you. Two things can happen. So do not let it destroy, because you are coming here to this prestigious institute to grow as an individual, and growing is the most important part, is getting a good score, which is really important. Do not ignore that. But at the same time, that getting a good score is the basic part, the foundation. But at the same time, you have to add more to your inherent qualities, and project yourself as a brand which everybody will go after. And this is how things happen. For instance, I'll give you an example again of my lessons. So I come from Assam, and obviously Northeast, that region is not very known in the mainstream media, and it doesn't have that kind of resonance among readers here in Delhi or in Mumbai, or say in Tamil Nadu. And it doesn't make commercial sense also to the advertisers, to the media groups. So obviously it's not given that much attention. So when I first came to India Today group, when I used to talk about Northeast, people would laugh at me, people would ridicule, people would say that, oh, it doesn't make any sense, my stories would be killed. But I kept doing that, and I always projected Northeast, which is a fact. I'm not overselling it, but projected Northeast as something which is much better than the rest of India. You may argue, you may dispute, that's fine. Means everybody should have that sense that my place, the thing that I belong to, or the expertise that I have in. Like for instance, if you're a sweeper, you must be immensely proud sweeper that the way I sweep the floor, nobody can do that. And then you would have demand everywhere. Instead of becoming a useless engineer, it's always good to be a great sweeper who has a great market value. So that's how I saw things, and I kept projecting Northeast. And eventually, what happened? Now, at least in India Today group, I can write on Northeast whenever I wish. People acknowledge that it's important. It has fascinating stories. The region can be politically exciting, and it's not what we used to believe. And then, because there is no competition, you also become an authority on that. So always try to pick up issues, topics, subjects that you have in your domain, which can be exciting in future, or which do not have too many experts, and then you try to build yourself as an authority, which is very important, because nowadays it's a time of experts. In every field, people look for experts, and that's where the real core competence of your education, the degree that you will get, or the scores that you will make, will come into play. So I hope till now I have made sense to you, the students. And if you are bored, please let me know in the private chat. If at least 20 students or 10 students tell me we are bored, I will stop, because I do not want to become that chief guest or that keynote speaker who used to bore me to death, not only to me, to a lot of other students. So in college life, the lesson that for next 3 years, that most important lesson for next 3 years that you also need to maintain, is that the dignity and integrity. It's important because not many people may talk to you. They will talk to you about becoming good at your job, getting into a good skill set, or studying hard and all that. But integrity is very important, and which is in a very short supply nowadays. And there will be multiple occasions when you will feel that it has no value. Integrity has no value, because there will be your friends who would make more money in future through dishonorable means, and still will be respected in the society, who will have bigger houses, who will have more comforts in life. And integrity may frustrate you also, because there will be situations when your seniors, superiors will also try to tell you that please do this this way, so that we can have these kind of benefits. And if you don't accept those things, you will be in professional trouble. But all these things are temporary. The most important thing in life, as you grow older, you will realize that to make a name for yourself, and name doesn't mean how big a brand you are or how much money you have, but the respect that your name earns. You must be known. Even your enemies will respect you, and even people who would not have much to do with you will respect you, and that respect will give you a kind of satisfaction which probably no amount of money can give you. And I'm not trying to be a moral judge here. What I'm trying to tell you is that doing a thing in an honorable way is the absolute self-love. Please note, the absolute self-love you can give it to yourself. If you love yourself, if you have respect for yourself, then please maintain the integrity. Because not maintaining integrity is the first signal that you do not have yourself respect for who you are. Would you like to be known as a thief, or as a dubious character? Just ask yourself. Sit down, and would you like your children or your parents to know you as someone who is not an honorable person, who uses dishonorable means and ways and methods to achieve his goal? If your answer is yes, I have nothing to say. But if your answer is no, I do not have to guide you or say you anything, tell you anything about this, because you then find your own path, and which is very easy. For a few days, you may face struggle, but after a point, it would not make much of a difference. And with that, I would bring to you my final lesson. It's the country at the moment is in a very volatile state. You would see a lot of extreme views, and because you all probably are on Twitter, Facebook, social media, everywhere, information overload is always there. So you are exposed to a lot of views, and most of the views are very extreme. You would not see the nuanced opinion anymore. You would either right or wrong, and you are at a very vulnerable age also. Of course, you have exposure to a lot of things, but trust me, you haven't, because of your age and because you are still in a protected environment till now under your parents and all that, you haven't developed that analytical skill to form an opinion on every subject. But many people see students as a category which can be easily instigated, and they use students for their own vested interest. Because if you take up an issue, it becomes big. We will come down, media will come to record, and these 3 years are your formative years. You have your whole life to contribute to the country. So if you, and you are not prepared yet, you are still you are in the process of, you are, I think, in progress at the moment. You haven't achieved everything. So if a half-baked, say if a 3-year MBBS student who has completed only third-year degree, can you trust him with a surgery? It's the same thing. So unless you have completed your education, you have achieved the things, and you are complete yourself, you cannot contribute properly to the country or to the cause. So it's more important for you to remain informed. It's important to remain informed, but to make an opinion, make judgments, and to act on those opinions, it may not be great for you as a student. It's important for you now to enhance your skills and prepare yourself for future, and keep reading, keep getting informed, but don't get into opinions, because opinions, extreme opinions, are not true. The facts or truth is always in between, and you can find those things in nuances. If you have the analytical mind and nuances, you can get into that. But if you don't have, please do not. Please do not get excited by what you see on social media or what you read on social media. These are distractions. These are not important anymore. Because if you really need good information, read books. And I will tell you, no matter which course you are in, read books, plenty of books, read a lot of books. Whatever free time you have on, that equation that I gave you, 5 hours, 5 days, read books. Make it a habit. Read anywhere. Means read on your mobile, read on your Kindle, read on your iPad, laptop, wherever, desktop, I don't care. Means you read books. If you can't read books, read newspaper, read the editorials, read whatever you can grab, and make notes. If at least 2 of you, whosoever I am speaking to, if at least 2 of you practice this, 20 years later, probably you would find me out if I'm alive and tell me that that was the best thing I have told you today. Because taking notes and reading will help you in every moment, in every aspect of your life, whatever you do, whether you become a great management consultant, whether you become an engineer, whether you become whatever you want to do in life, it will help you like anything. Reading and taking notes. Reading is not social media. Social media, as you know, 140 words. You hardly would get any information on that, and always it will be half back. So important part is stay neutral for the moment, focus on your score, and try to achieve whatever you have set out for, and make learning exciting and interesting. Learn for yourself, not for your teachers, not for your parents. Learn for yourself. Keep telling yourself every moment that I am doing this to make myself or give myself the best of the world. And that's where you need to head for. And I think I have spoken enough. I can now stop. And if everybody is awake, then I can finish it. And if anybody has a question, they can definitely ask me, but I don't know. I'm not too sure about that. But thanks a lot for having me here and patiently listening to me, at least making a show of it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for inspiring us with your knowledge and for sharing your valuable advice with the new joiners. At this juncture, we would like to say a few words about Mr. Kaushik. Our esteemed guest of honor today, Mr. Kaushik Deka, is a distinguished journalist and a celebrated author. As mentioned, Mr. Kaushik Deka hails from Tihu, a small town in Assam. Impacted by his experiences in Assam with terrorism of various forms, he has written about insurgency in the Northeast in the book he co-authored, The Secret Killings of Assam. He has also authored the widely popular book, The Baba Ramdev Phenomenon, From Moksha to Market.
An alumnus of the Indian Institute of Mass Communication, Mr. Deka is currently working as the deputy editor at India Today magazine. He is known for his powerful and impactful journalism, and over his celebrated career, he has taken multiple exclusive interviews and has written widely popular articles. Sir, we are truly inspired by your gracious presence.
Thank
So
you.
now we will be having a brief question and answer segment. The first question is asked by Ms. Akshita Chaudhary. Akshita, we request you to switch on your microphone and camera for asking the question.
Hello, sir. Good afternoon. My name is Akshita. I am a student of Symbiosis Center for Management Studies. It was a wonderful session, first of all, I would like to say. So my question for you is, as a journalist and an editor who has the important responsibility of sharing information with the public in the most transparent manner possible, how do you make sure that your own opinions and personal bias about a certain issue does not project on your work?
I must tell you one personal incident. Some days back, my editor told me that I'll rot in hell. He was cracking a joke because of there is a famous saying by Dante that those who keep neutrality at every moment, there is a special space in hell for them. But I take pride in this fact that when I write, I distance myself from my opinion. Because I see it this way. India Today magazine will cost you 60, now 75 rupees. And anybody who would be reading India Today magazine spending 75 rupees is not a stupid guy. So he doesn't need my opinion. All he needs is facts. So my job as a journalist is to give him neutral, unbiased facts. And you will, if my facts are there, then you will make the right opinion. I don't need to care about it. For instance, I can give you an example of this NRC issue and CA, that Citizenship Amendment Act. These two things, as an Assamese, if I have to see, I have a very strong different views on these issues. But when I have written cover stories on these issues, I completely detach myself from my views and I do my I do a fact-based story. So if you Google my name, and if you read India Today cover stories, you will see that those are cover stories, fact-based, real hard information. But if you read my piece in Daily O, which is an opinion website, where I have written what it means, these things mean to me as an Assamese. That is my personal opinion, where I make no pretense of what I believe in. So it's not a tough job. Means all you need to do is that you need to, as I mentioned about the integrity part at the end, you need to be true to yourself and you need to be true to your profession. Do not be a dishonest professional, whatever you do. And once you are an honest professional, things will fall in place eventually. Maybe the initial period would be of struggle, or you may have bad experiences, sad experiences, but over a period of time, things fall in place. And that's how I have practiced it. And it's really important, as you have said, that my job is to give you facts, not to give my opinion. You are adult enough, you are intelligent enough to make your own opinion.
Thank you so much, sir. The next question is asked by Anant Jetalia. Anant, please switch on your microphone and camera for asking the question.
Definitely. Good afternoon, sir. I am Anant, one of the students at SMS Pune. It really was great listening to you, first of all. My question for you today is, as someone who has commendably covered some sensitive topics which at times receive backlash from certain sections, how do you prevent criticism from getting under your skin and affecting your work?
how do I suffer criticism? I do not even get into that zone. Means, if you look at my Twitter handle and all that, I rarely comment, respond unless someone points out anything factual, because you have to believe it this way. To an educated mind, to an educated person, if someone is having an opinion, the only thing that you can give that person is your facts. If you try to tell him what you believe in, he would never accept, because he also has his own pride in his own education or information that he has. So there will always be criticism. Think of it this way: you are at home, your parents, your brothers, sisters, everybody criticizes you for whatever you do, rightly, wrongly, most of the time wrongly, but you suffer that.
Yes.
You do not let that get into your mind, and they are your own people, they are not outsiders. Here some random stranger will comment on you. Why do you allow your self to be what you were to be determined by someone who you don't even know, who would make no impact in your life? So there could be a group of 500 people who would troll you for something, for the vested interest. What happens is that when facts are not always comfortable for everyone, so one fact could be very comfortable for someone, then that person and 20 others will come and say, oh, you are a great person. Then 10 days later, and it has happened with me, I write something. Now this fact is not comfortable to this group of 20. So today you will say you are a Bikau journalist, you are a bad journalist, you are this, that. So it happens. Means 20 days back, I was the greatest journalist on earth, and 20 days later, I am a moron. So it doesn't make any difference. Means if you know your facts, you are honest with yourself. The only thing that you do not have to face criticism from yourself, because you know yourself, you cannot lie to yourself.
Right.
So that's the simple funda.
All right, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. This brings us to the end of the Q&A segment. Thank you so much to all the students who asked the questions. So if time permits, we humbly request you to stay with us for the next 10 minutes.